Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Commissar here, and today I have a 1 vs 1 StarCraft 2 commentary for you all. And today's game is actually going to be a best of 3 series, luckily enough. And this best of 3 series will be between none other than Team Dynamic's Everize. He is going to be our Terran player today, our green Terran spawning in the bottom left-hand side corner of the map today. And over on the top right-hand side, we do happen to have none other than EG's IdrA. If you're wondering, the RC is Raidcall, the new sponsor, the new major sponsor of Evil Geniuses. I'm not sure if it's called major sponsor or title sponsor, something along those lines. And anyway, Raidcall is a great program, but moving on towards this game. This series, rather, is from the IEM Qualifiers, the recent qualifiers. And yeah, both of these players did quite well. I'm not going to spoil the results of the qualifiers for those of you who don't know, because that would potentially spoil the results of this match, of this series rather. But I do plan to enjoy it very much. So anyway, we do indeed have these two top-ranked players, with recent achievements being a third placing at the WCS North America for IdrA, which is a very impressive result because he has had a very, very long slump. And even though he did lose to Vibe in the end, which I'm sure he was disappointed about, I'm sure he can't be too sad about winning a few $1,000s and getting a third place in the WCS. It also means qualifying for IEM, doesn't it? Sorry, WCS in China. Rather, not IEM, my bad. And we do also see him going for a engineering bay to block this hatchery, and this is actually so clever. You see this so often, but going straight for the engineering bay before even a scout is extra clever. As that is a lot of health. Usually an engineering bay block doesn't quite get that close to finishing, because that will take a drone forever to knock down. It'll take 4 lings a little bit of time too. So it will force, I think, 4 lings, not just 2 from IdrA, and it is a really great way to deny that expansion. And as such, IdrA's timings are already going to be thrown way off, and I'm sure he has backup. I'm sure he's good enough to have backup timings, but at the same time, he doesn't like being upset. He doesn't like his build orders being upset. He never has, and he does seem to be getting better lately and generally in all aspects of his game. But that being said, this is going to be a bit of a blow to him. It looks like he may be going to take his third base straight away, or maybe just go for that engineering bay. Yep, he's not going to take a third base straight away. It is a little bit harder to hold on to, it is a little bit of a distance away. And there is the SCV down there already to try and deny that too, so Everize has thought this out. And if you look at the Everize camera, he didn't even scout the main base of his opponent. And now his engineering bay will tell him when the first fallings are out, so he knows, cool, knows everything coming towards my base, I can expand, and he does indeed have an expansion on the way. So Everize making a great start to this game. His background, if you're wondering, by the way, he is from Team Dynamic, which is quite a good team. Matero's on that team, if you might have heard of him. I think he's... I forget who else is on the team. I probably could have remembered that because I looked at it about a minute ago. But, nonetheless, he is a top-ranked Grandmaster player. He won his own pass to MLG, he didn't have to buy it, so he is a good player to win small tournaments. He beat RSVP in a small online tournament a couple of weeks ago, I think, 3-0, so he is a good player. He's a good player by anyone's standards, but at the same time, he certainly has not had any significant major tournament results, and as such, he would probably be considered to be a bit of an underdog against IdrA, but IdrA not having many recent results other than the WCS wouldn't be considered to necessarily be like a hot favourite. It wouldn't be an easy win by any means for him. I'll have to wait and see how he does go. So we'll see the second and third bases are on the way for IdrA, and the SCV scouting up here will see a lack of a lair, I believe it saw. Yeah, it saw the lack of the lair. It saw, okay, cool, my opponent's basically been delayed by my play, and is just going to be macroing up to 3 bases, rather than, say, going for a quick lair, or a quick roach rush for that matter. So anyway, we do indeed see IdrA having his second base up and running now, with quite a few drones being transferred across. Oversaturated at his main he was previously, leaving exactly 16. A great ratio to have of mineral patches to houses. 16 on minerals is always the best for any race on any base at any time in the game, basically. It's not the most minerals per minute, but it's the most efficient by far. And meanwhile, we do indeed see IdrA, if you look all over the map, overlords everywhere. Yes, up here, hiding behind the production tab. Lings down here to spot the third. Overlords, towers both in control of IdrA. Basically, he has brilliant map control at this stage. And why not take it? Well, there's no reason why not, but a lot of players wouldn't. But IdrA doing a great job in that at this stage. Anyway, so the third base is on the way for Everize, as are some reacted Hellions, 2 at a time coming out. They will basically scare away these Lings, you'd think, and yet they are going to go up to check for these Lings. Very, very good thinking by Everize, very thorough in terms of his Hellion usage, and yeah, a couple of free Lings basically. Always going to be a little bit nice to get. Probably going to go to the Watchtower soon to clear out these Lings as well. And these Hellions, of course, are great for trying to delay creep spread, for trying to deny third bases, but the third base will probably be up anyway, one more creep tumor and they'll basically be joined, so that won't be achieved. What will be achieved is perhaps some harassment, perhaps some containing of the creep, and some map control. So yeah, that scouting is of course crucial, as you need to know if you need to throw down a bunch of bunkers and put oil marines into them, as of course no tanks are present yet for Everize, nor are any marauders. Anyway, we do see a Cloaked Banshee coming out. I say cloaked as Cloak is also on the way as well as the Banshee, and what does IdrA have in response to this? Well, in response to the Hellions, he has the Queens and a Spine over here, so he should be okay. He could lose potentially a few drones, but he is reacting quite well, although one more shot could get a few drones. We do see one going down, but only one so far, and any more maybe gonna go down? No! So a great hold there by IdrA, shutting down that Hellion play very, very effectively. Meanwhile, of course, these Hellions are grouping up across at the Watchtower. We do have the Banshee going in with Cloak about to be finished. A second Banshee is on the way. In preparation, we do have nothing from IdrA. No Evolution Bay, I think. Evolution Bay, what am I saying? Evolution Chamber. Sorry, the Evolution Chamber though is done, but no spores are up. So he can build spores, none on the way yet. He will not be ready for the Cloak at all. As you can see, the Queen now useless against that Banshee. And already racking up 4 kills, now 5. And it is going to get probably a few more. I know the Hellions using this time to get in, and oh, could get some big shots off here. And no, just going to get 1 or 2 drones, nothing big. Oh, quite a few actually on that last shot. Quite exciting. And that Banshee plus those Hellions combined ended up getting 21 workers. So yeah, that last shot did do a lot of damage, and Everize taking a very, very aggressive, strong, and it's just been a great start to the game for him, and he is at a good lead now. This Queen, of course, did manage to scare away this Banshee over here. The first Banshee, I believe, did go down, or is that the second? I believe it is. Yes, it maybe would be. I forget. I don't think it was, actually. That must have been the first one. Yeah, 6 kills. Must have been the first one. Yeah, my bad. But meanwhile, we do indeed see the Spy going down for IdrA. It will be seen by this Banshee, which is great news for Everize. He is also going to get a few more drones here, it looks like, and be scared away by that Queen. But extra economic damage is just a great, great thing to have, and may even delay this inject not significantly. Okay, so another Banshee moving in around the backside. Hasn't got any damage done this one. Ran into a spore, I think. And oh, it could go down to this Queen perhaps, or at least take some damage to it, as it's run out of energy, and it will not go down, but these Hellions might. They are against Speedlings, and they should be okay, although it looks like they might lose 1 Hellion, the second and the third are also going to die, I think, because they're actually attacking at all. They're just going to run away, and yep. Banshees are going to try and save them, but to little avail, and a Banshee does go down to that Queen. Very, very cool pickup for IdrA to get that Banshee, as he needs everything he can get at this stage. He is currently significantly behind by about 10 supply. Economy-wise, he is, what, behind by a drone. And the third base with mules is going to land for Everize right now. So Everize ahead in economy, ahead in supply. The only thing he might not necessarily have completely going for him is that his army composition is very, very fragile. IdrA's, though, not much better. So by comparison, IdrA, yeah, it's not really far ahead. The Queens, of course, those 5 Queens, are probably all he needs to kill the army of his opponent, though, at this stage. Which is interesting, and none of us thought that that's not the case. But IdrA's not going to die right about now, although he is in a lot of trouble. Ventral Sax, that's the Overlord drop upgrade, I believe, is on the way right now, which is very exciting to see, as it's just basically always exciting to see, yeah, drops. We also see the Overlord speed on the way, so drops are very, very likely, and IdrA is pretty cool in going for this, because why? He's trying to think of a way that he can come back into this game, and drops are both unexpected by most players, they bypass turtles, and they can be very high reward. They can do a lot of damage. We all know that Terran drops can be devastating. Of course, Zerg drops have the potential to be as well. And it looks like it will be Roach drops, as we do indeed see a bunch of, Roach speed on the way, rather. And yeah, no Burrow or Tunneling Claws either, but drops, of course, will be pretty cool. We do see some mutas out on the field now. Not a big flock at the moment. It looks like it will just remain a small flock basically indefinitely, or at least for the next few minutes, as roaches are coming out in force now, with roach upgrades being researched as well. There are missile targets going up, but they are not done yet. The Thors are, however, and the Thors are going to scare away these mutas, combined with a little bit of marine support, and as such, with the turrets now done, they've basically been neutralized for the time being, but all these banshees are actually going to be stuffed, because these mutas are aware of their whereabouts, and they're going up to intercept, and oh my god, it looks like Everize could potentially lose them all if IdrA actually gets to the right spot. He does have that Overlord speech. This Overseer could potentially catch up to these banshees. Let's wait and see if it does, though. It looks like the banshees make it back to base. Meanwhile, we do see Hellions running into the third base of IdrA. They are going to get one kill at the start. I think I'm going to get any more, a couple more, and all these units are also clumped up. They are going to get even more drone kills. The total count, of course, now going up to 29. That's 8 extra pickups. These banshees, I didn't quite catch if they did go down or not. It looks like they did not. They are still on the field. They did indeed manage to get back to base over here. Pretty good control though by IdrA to be able to scare them off like that, to be able to get so close to the kill. And IdrA in general playing quite well from behind, but he is behind. He is ahead in supply now, but that is because roaches tend to do that. Roaches are very cheap supply, you get maxed out off them very quickly. But they are 2 armor, 1 attack upgrade roaches with the 2nd attack upgrade on the way, and this drop, if it runs into the Thors, let's say, it'd be horrible for IdrA. But say if it managed to find a spot which wasn't full of turrets like the main is, or full of Thors like the second base is, like let's say dropping the third base, it could do a lot of damage. The Thors are being pulled away now, which opens up the natural, and IdrA, already in position, is going to be coming in, and these Thors are not going to hit the Overlords. It looks like they might turn around to try and get them, but it looks like no, they're distracted by the Roach Bush at the front. They will clean that up easily, but that is not IdrA's intention. That's not what he wants to kill. He's dropping all over the siege tanks, and the mutas are now swinging in, and they're trying to magic box, but they are all going down. The numbers for IdrA just being too small, and it looks like the Thors should be able to clean up here, and I believe IdrA will be able to hold this game, and not even a GG. IdrA losing the first game in this best of 3 series, but luckily for him, there's game 2 to come, and hopefully for IdrA's sake, he can get a win out and potentially win this series, as that was not the best start. He was outplayed from start to finish for the most part. Well, not outplayed from start to finish, but he was behind from the start, and Everize's opening just never gave him much time to recover. One good shot off from those Hellions ended up killing a ton of workers off, and the economy, even at the death, was basically in favour of the Terran player. I say basically as the only reason it was a little bit lower was SCVs were off the line at the time of the end of the game, but the attack was held, the supply for IdrA was lowered, and reinforcing roaches would do very little against 2-2 Thors. Okay, the Banshees also did survive too. So that game was pretty cool. I did like Everize's play. IdrA, of course, not playing badly, but he did end up behind. He was delayed from the start, and really, Everize just dictated the flow of the game to him. He didn't really contribute a great deal to it, other than just being a solid Zerg player to lose to. For his opponent to beat. So, I hope you enjoyed that game. Please do leave me some feedback on my casting, if you will. But, for now, let's just move on to game